Welcome everybody back to Reimagine. We are here with session 2, and I am so happy, thankful, and grateful to help you be reimagining yourself and your brand image today. It's going to be so much fun and so impactful because the number one thing that's stopping you from getting what you want is your own self-image. And if you want to help scale and expand your brand, you need to nail that brand image. All big corporations and companies have images. Think of Coca-Cola, Lululemon, Namaste North, where I love to go, where I was this morning. All of these companies and businesses have brands. Think about how you feel when you interact with these brands. Now, how do you want people to feel when they interact with your brand? Pause and ask yourself, what do you think about yourself and your personal image? What do you think about your brand and your brand's image? Are they in alignment, or is it time to reimagine? Let's dive into the workbook today. So the number one thing we want to start to talk about is what are our current results. That'll tell us where our current image is. Where do we want our future state to be? And we can then design a new image of who we're being with that goal achieved. And then we want to look at the gap. So in Success Principle Society, in the first workbook in vision casting, one of the key exercises, it's a great NLP technique and tool for you to do and use, is to look at what is your current state? What is that future state? And identify the gap. And this will help you reverse engineer a goal from the end in mind to create new results instead of creating from where you are and getting more of the same. And so when you're pausing to think about, okay, well, what is that future state? Then you will want to first know what it is that you want. And that's what all yesterday's session was about. Our first session, it could be a standalone session. I could talk for hours about casting your vision, setting your goal, getting into the state of the goal achieved, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And we want to cover 3 keys in this masterclass. So yesterday, reimagine your vision. Today, reimagine your personal and brand image. Tomorrow, it's to reimagine your schedule, because whatever is in your calendar, you are trading your life for. So we hope it's worth you. And so now, looking at our workbook, we are on page 11. We asked, what is the current operating system telling you that's not working for you? So we're going to start to look at our current results. I want you to look at all areas of your life, and I really want you to start to think, what is not working, right? In order to decide what we want, we first have to identify what's not working, and that will help us get to where we want to go. So we'll paint the contrast first. We don't want to put too much energy into it. We just want to start to look at the contrast so we can identify the gap. Right? So current state, the contrast, what's not working. Future state, goal from the end in mind, and then we can identify the gap. So the first question for today's workbook is, what is that current operating system telling you that's not working for you in your life and in your business? So take a moment and just jot that down. Where are the areas of improvement you would like to see in your life and in your business? And what I'd really like you to do is look at all areas of your life, your health, your wealth, your relationships, your habits, your mindset, your money management, all the things personally. And then I want you to think about in your business. Do you love your clients, or is it time to have a new ideal client script? Do you love the structure of your brand? Do you love teaching your offers? Do you love how your business creates a schedule for you? Or is it starting to feel daunting and draining? So look at all the areas in your business: sales and serving, marketing and branding, operations and management, development and research. Our 6 core self-mastery are your vision, your goal, your mind, your self-image, your high performance habits, and your holistic wellness. So if we're looking at ourselves as a whole and our business as a whole, this gives you some areas to start to identify what's not working. Because if we don't know what's not working, we can't then change to what we want it to be. So first identify what's not working, and we're going to call this our contrast. And the next step, one of the most magical questions, is what would you prefer? Say it with me now. Drop it in the chat. Ask yourself, what would I prefer? So we have the current state, and then we're going to have our future state. And your future state is what you are preferring. So go ahead, take a moment, think about that, and write that down. Now, while you're jotting that down, I'm going to review one of the key principles of self-image. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's also a really incredible book by Maxwell Maltz. He was a plastic surgeon, and he would do one surgery on one person. He'd help so many people, and then he would have another person where he'd do 20 surgeries on. And that person who had one surgery, they never came back. They were happy. Everything changed for them. And then there was the other person who was coming back for their 21st surgery and still did not love themselves the way they were. And he started to wonder why. So he really started to go into the research of this and started to look into the mindset, the psychology, and thoughts. And what he found is we actually have 2 images. One internal image of ourselves, the way we think about ourselves, often our own worst critic. And then we have a self-image in which we project to the world. And so that unconscious internal self-image is your glass ceiling. Because no matter what you do, because 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and actions are habitual and unconscious. So if we don't change that unconscious self-image, we can work as hard as we want. And believe me, I used to work 18-hour days, 7 days a week, 3 businesses, 3 contracts, volunteered at Landmark in the self-expression and leadership program. I had no more time to trade. I literally couldn't work any harder. And every time I would go to get a new goal, I was about to break that 6-figure glass ceiling. I literally signed a bunch of new clients, got a new contract. Everything was looking amazing. I was about to smash that glass ceiling, that internal unconscious self-image and belief system. And then in came a problem, something that would have me go back to the same result, maybe slightly better. And this would happen over and over again. And after about 3 years of this, literally at the point of exhaustion now, because I could not work harder, I started to study Bob Proctor's work. And this is when I learned about the book Psycho-Cybernetics and the self-image. And I'd already studied with Landmark and learned so many NLP techniques, but the way that Bob taught us about self-image changed the rest of my life. I was able to break that 6-figure glass ceiling and do it again. I was able to get out of a trade your time for money business model and build a scalable business. I was able to have healthier and happier relationships where I never knew I could be treated so good, because previously self-image must have been not very high because what I attracted was not ideal. And so I'm so grateful that I was able to work on my self-image. And actually, one of my key moments in my life where I was really transforming, and we're talking about reimagining here, so I'd reimagined my business. It was time to release all my contracts and go fully out on my own. And I was so scared because our mind goes, what if it doesn't work? And we're going to cancel those automatic negative thoughts and we're going to replace them with what if it can work, and faith in possibility. And so during that time of transformation, I did not let those ants, those automatic negative thoughts, take me out. If my mind was not occupied by meditation or work or studying, I was playing my self-image script, which is going to be your homework from today. And so in that time, I would go for walks every night. I would listen to my self-image script. I had even dreams so big. I was like, no one could ever hear this because I was so allowing myself to dream and be in possibility and believe in the person I could be and how I deserve to be treated and the type of business I deserve to have and the clients I wanted to serve. And now I'm here. And that self-image script really, really, really works. It's one of the key tools. And so note that I didn't just write it and leave it and forget it. I said I listened to it every morning while I wrote my affirmations, and every night when I went for a walk by the lake. I lived at Park Lawn in Lakeshore in Toronto at that time, and the cityscape at night was one of my favorite things and would bring me so much joy. So I would walk along that lakeshore, which, by the way, I don't recommend at night because there are coyotes, and I met one. You've never seen somebody run so fast in their entire life. I almost got into a stranger's car. But anyway, so after that, I turned my volume down so that I could be very present in my surroundings, because while I would walk, I would reimagine my life, my self-image. I would listen to this script and I would begin to embody it to become it. Instead of being in the fear, I went fully into a state of possibility. And so I would imagine, how would I stand? How would I walk? How would I talk? How would I engage with people? And this is where I went from like being a little bit hyper overactive to slowing down and really starting to be a calmer version of me, because that was part of my self-image. And so, guys, there is so much magic in this exercise. And if you want the full benefit from it, you're going to use the principle of auto suggestion, the spaced repetition of an idea or thought over time. Now, that sounds like a bunch of fancy lingo. It just means repeat, 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 repeat. So you are currently have an operating system in your mind, your own computer operating system that you were given via the model of the world you grew up by well-meaning parents, community, society, culture. Everyone did the best with what they had, and they helped you become the version of you that you are today. From the age of 0 to 7, you built that programming. From 7 to 14, you took this model and programming and you went and tested it out from in the world. And then from 14 to 21, you really start to get ingrained that personality. And so that personality is what we call your belief system, how you show up in the world, what you believe is possible for you, what you believe is not possible for you. And let's pause and talk about that for a second, because it's not really what you believe is possible for you that's stopping you. It's the lies you're telling yourself of what is not possible for you. And maybe you took on somebody else's belief. Maybe they said you can't be an entrepreneur, or maybe they said it's going to be really hard. Or maybe you're a woman and you have conditioning that having your own money and building your own company and taking care of yourself is harder yet impossible. There's still so much growth in the world for us women. If you haven't read We Should All Be Millionaires yet, that might light a fire under your butt because you'll start to learn that women didn't get bank accounts without husbands until the 70s. Like it's kind of crazy. And we still have a lot of opportunity. I just learned that less than like 1% of the people who own property in the world are women. Like, let's level up. We are heart-led, we're compassionate, we're incredible human beings. And when we level up ourselves, We're going to level up the world and what's possible for other women. So I want you to really start to think about that new image of you, what's possible. Forget the programming, forget what you were told. Remember, I said, if I waved a magic wand and said you could be, do, or have whatever it is that you desire, what is that? What is it? And what is it that you truly, truly want? And what is it that you truly, truly see for yourself? So going back to psychocybernetics, I got off on a tangent there. So we call this your operating system. And so I was explaining of how it was working in my life and kept bringing me back to where I was over and over again. And so I want you to pause and think about this like an airplane. So an airplane has a destination set. Consider that your current self-image. And it takes off. And even though it's off course 98% of the time, so it may look like you're going to go get that goal, smash that glass ceiling, it is making micro adjustments that always make sure the plane lands at its destination. And so this is happening in your unconscious mind through self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs, behavior that's not going to get us to what we desire, thoughts, those ants, those automatic negative thoughts, they're slowly going to start to, even though it looks like we're going to get that goal. And I tell you, because I almost smashed it so many times before I started studying this work. It looks like you're going to get it, and yet the plane will always land at its destination. So what is that current self-image? What's that current operating system for you? What is that current destination? Let's change it. Let's transform it. And let's really, truly decide what it is that we prefer. Now, it's not good enough just to write it. I mean, it's amazing. Thank you. Many people will avoid this because we avoid the things that will get us the largest results. That's self-sabotaging behavior again. What I want you to do is to write it, create it, embody it, to become it. So on page 12, we're going to start to actually create it. And so I want you to pause and ask yourself right now, excuse me, who are 3 people you wish to emulate and why? Let's make a new self-image. Let's lean into this. And so when you're thinking about this, I want you to also think about your business and who you want to be in your business. Who are some of the incredible business owners and leaders that you absolutely love, and what's a characteristic that they have that you would like to emulate? Always choose Bob Proctor as one. Always choose Kelly Roach as another. And then I'd have to say like Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, some of my favorite personal growth mentors and amazing people who are no longer with us, yet their legacy lives on today through the work that they do and through their companies. Literally their brand and their legacies are still happening today, like Hay House Publications. Louise Hay was in her 70s when she decided, and she found this information and her life started to change, and she decided things were going to go differently for her. And she ended up creating Hay House Publications, which is one of the most incredible and large publications in this world. And she died, moved along, transitioned, however you want to view that, in 2017. And that is the legacy that she's leaving today. Bob Proctor, God bless his soul, passed away in 2021 or early 2022. And his legacy is still living on. I was just reading their website this morning when I was studying on their website, all the programs that I've studied with them. Something like 90,000 people still studying his material and programs with the Procter & Gallagher Institute right now, this very moment. And he passed away years ago because his company still lives on. And speaking of legacies and brand image and leaving that legacy, his new legacy movie comes out August 10th. Isn't that amazing? His family, the company, they put together this incredible legacy movie that is still, his legacy is still living on today. And so I want you to pause and ask yourself, what do you want that image to be for yourself? What is that legacy you want to leave? Who are the people you wish to emulate and why? So take a moment and write those down. And don't just write who, I want you to actually write why. Why is the emotion? It's the language of the unconscious mind. And so why do you want to be like them? So I just talked about Louise Hay, reimagined her life at 70. It's left a legacy. Bob Proctor transformed my life and millions around the globe. And he has something like 100 consultants that still work for that company, teaching his material long after he's gone. So obviously for me, it's about building a legacy brand. One of my favorite sayings was, what if somebody found your book 100 years from now, you're gone, and somebody found your book and it transformed their life? What would that mean to you? What would that really mean to you? So think about that legacy. One of the things I love about Bob was how humble he was. So that is one key principle and characteristic I choose to embody. Kelly Roach is like the perfect mix of masculine and feminine. She'll tell you what you need to hear, but she also will bring the faith and possibility with it. Danielle Amos is incredible as well. And she just brings this sense of love and lightness, and was my coach in PGI for 4 years. And so I want you to let us know in the chat, who do you wish to emulate and why? And then, of course, we ask you, how can you be more like this today to embody that new you? So how could you be more humble? How can you be more legacy leaving? Really, perhaps it's about starting to write that book. How can I be more in the masculine and the feminine? Be honest, hardworking, but at the same time in flow and possibility and kindness. And really start to ask yourself, what is like one thing that you could do today to really begin to embody it? So as Bob Proctor would say, it's called reimagined reality, or act as if, or, as I'm saying, embody it to become it. So when we start to expect it and act as if, we will actually start to prepare ourselves for the opportunities that are come our way. Often, if we don't do this, the opportunities may even show up for us, but we're not prepared for them, and they will pass us by because we didn't believe and we didn't expect it for ourselves. And I can think of multiple examples in my mind where the mindset had taken me out, and opportunities showed up, and I wasn't prepared because I didn't stay in that expectancy, and then I had to watch them move on by. And so I don't want that for you. I really want you to always decide what you want. Who are you being with this goal achieved? How are you embodying it to become it? How are you acting as if in that imagined reality, and being prepared by expecting it? And that we're going to talk a lot more about tomorrow in creating the containers, building your dream schedule, and expecting it so that you're prepared for when those opportunities show up for you. And so I asked you, what is it that you really want for that self-image? And what do you really want for your brand to represent? I want you to think about when somebody interacts with your brand, how do you want them to feel? When somebody mentions your brand and you're not in the room, what do you want them to be saying about it? So really start to think about that brand image. And let's begin to design the new you with the goal achieved and the new brand that is going to attract those premium ideal clients with that business that leaves you happy and fulfilled. So I want you to really pause and ask yourself, not just the personal image, the brand image as well. So what are some of the brands that you like? Is there anything about them that you may want to emulate? One of my favorite things about Namaste North is where I go and do yoga. She has it down to a T. Their customer service is incredible. I bring friends there all the time. And you know what I think is so amazing? It's obviously something they do. They will, as new people come in, they'll put their names on a post-it note, bring it even into class. So they make sure that they know you by name, so that when they walk in, they say, hello, Heather, good morning. When they're in class, they can cue you by name. The feeling and sense of community that they create is got to be the best I've ever seen by far. It actually had me leave the gym that I was previously at because this lady would stand. So think about this contrasting, right? Brand. The lady would stand at the front desk, and when I would walk in, she never cracked a smile. So obviously out of alignment with my energy. So I was like, whatever, probably having a bad day, what have you. You know, maybe she was talking to someone, didn't acknowledge me. That's okay. In Namaste North, even if they're talking to somebody, they will like at least acknowledge you. It's incredible. Anyways, only to find out that this lady was the manager there. Now, I want you to pause and think about team image. As you grow and expand and scale, you're going to teach this information to your team. You're going to help them create a winning self-image. You're going to help them marry their vision and why with the brand image and why and goals. And then you're going to build a team winning image. What does that dream team look like? And I promise you, for me, it's not a manager that ignores my customers. Okay, so literally left that gym, actually looking, I go to a different one, also looking at a new one that started, just opened up in Barrie as well. But there's a big contrast there. So when you're thinking about an image, I want you to think about that personal image and that brand image. And maybe that's part of their brand there. They're a little bit more hardcore. I don't know, wasn't in alignment with me, part of the reason I left. And so and I'm a workoutaholic. And so that's a great customer lost, not to mention the community I'm connected to, the amount of people I refer to different places. So really start to think about that. What are some of the brands you want to emulate and why? What are some of the characteristics that you see and that you like and that you don't like? What do you prefer and what are those contrasts? And what do you want that brand image to start to represent? And so obviously when I'm talking about Namaste North, it's all good stuff. And so I want you to think about building yourself and your brand where people are talking about you and spreading the word about you and your company and your brand when you're not there, and it's all good stuff. And they do it for you, word of mouth marketing, because that brand is so incredible. And so the next step for you to do and the homework for you to do is to create that winning self-image. And so this is the script. And for the homework for this workshop, it's going to be a personal and brand image script. So you are going to write about how is that new business? What does it look like for people to interact with it? And what is it? How does it feel and look like as the CEO of this company, as the founder, to be like, who are you being as a founder of this incredible company? I don't know, maybe you want to sell your company years from now. Maybe you want to keep it for yourself. Maybe you want to hire coaches and build leaders within. Maybe you want to have a large team. Maybe you want to keep it really lean and green and have more profit than expenses and use a lot more AI assistance. Like, I don't know what that looks like for you, but I really want you to start to think about your business brand and your self-image brand and you as the CEO, the leader, the founder, of this company, of this brand, what does that look like for you? And so there's so much magic when we put pen to paper. Right now, you're thinking about it. Amazing. Love that for you. That you're going to start to get aha wins or breakthroughs just from that. And there's so much more magic if you can begin to write it. And so, what I'd really love for you to do is write your personal and your brand image. So, what does a version of you on your vision board with all your dreams and desires met look like, act like, think like, feel like? Write that new self image script of who you're being with your goal achieved 3 years from now, and write how you see your perfect business going. Okay, so I want that to be your homework for today. I have done this with so many clients, and it's amazing to see who's ready for the transformation and ready to own it. They do this right away. And it's amazing to see who has the mental blocks and the lack of belief and self-love in themselves, and they will avoid this at all costs. I have had clients rewrite it multiple times. We actually, in our community, we also record it in our own voice and listen to it multiple times a day. And if you're more of a writer, then we have some clients that write it every single day. We have some clients that read it out loud in front of the mirror every single day. There's multiple different ways for you to use this. And it's one of the best and most incredible result-oriented tools you will ever use. I promise, I promise, I promise. So this is what we start to say when we work with the unconscious mind. So you're beginning to change your unconscious mind so that you start to make more conscious choices and unconscious choices that are in alignment with you with that goal achieved. So let's pause now and let's visualize this so that we can begin to embody it to become it. So let's close our eyes. We're going to take a big deep breath, maybe the biggest breath of the day so far. And let's do that again. And one more time. And I want you to imagine yourself 3 years from now. What is it that you have achieved? What were those top 3 desires you decided on that you wanted the most? I want you to see that it is achieved. I want you to feel that it is achieved. What does that look like for you? How does that feel for you? What do you see in this visualization? What do you hear? What do you sense? What do you touch? Let's imagine that we are at a celebration, a party with our friends, our family, our clients, our teams, and we're celebrating our wins. How are you celebrating these goals achieved? Who are you celebrating with? How does it feel? I want you to pause and look around at all the incredible people that are there celebrating you and your success. Send love, gratitude, and appreciation. And as you walk through the people, you move over to where you see a mirror over in the corner by yourself. And I want you to look at yourself in the eyes. What does that future you want to tell the past self? Thank you so much for betting on you. Thank you so much for believing in you. Thank you so much for going through all the growth opportunities that were required to get us here. Thank you for continually smashing those ants, those automatic negative thoughts, and staying focused and prioritized and keeping our mind on the prize and continually reaching for a better feeling thought. Thank you for entering the spirit of the goal achieved each and every single day in your imagined reality and ignoring the current and past circumstances so that you could consciously co-create these results that you are standing in today. And all of this was possible because of you. And I want you to say huge thank you to yourself for making this happen. And I want you to feel really, really proud, confident, courageous, humble, powerful, empowered, inspired, resilient, successful, prosperous. And you blow yourself a little kiss in the mirror. And as you walk back to join everybody at the party, I want you to notice, what are you wearing? How are you walking? How tall and proud are you standing? How's your hair, your makeup, your style, your personality, your attitude? How is this all different now? And what is different for you now that you've achieved this goal? And now everybody gets together for a group picture. And we're using a drone, and the drone is going to go up and take this incredible group picture of you and everybody in the celebration of you and your goals achieved. I'm going to take a snapshot. And it works through Bluetooth and immediately airdrops it to everybody's phone. And now you have that picture on your phone and you're looking at it. And you're remembering this moment and this feeling and this energy. And now as everybody's standing together, I want you to look through your own eyes and see it, feel it. And when you're ready, I would like you to freeze frame that. And I want you to imagine stepping out of that picture and allowing that to stay in your unconscious mind 3 years from now with the goal achieved. And imagine it's like a picture that you're looking at now. And just letting that drop into that future timeline. And then whenever you're ready, with a big deep breath, come on back into the room. Come on back into the now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now, how does it feel? I want you to bring that energy and that feeling with you. Let it wash over you. And how can we embody this more and more today so that it becomes such a familiar experience for us, that it is our normal state of operation. This is the state, the energy that we're going to continue to move forward with today. And when you wake up tomorrow, You're going to remember this visualization. In fact, before you go to bed tonight, the last 5 minutes, the most important before you drift off to sleep, whatever you're thinking about, you're putting into the womb of creation, the unconscious mind, and you are creating the next day. And so I want you to fall asleep in this beautiful visualization this evening. And when you wake up, I want you to see it and feel it and sense it and touch it and hear it and be it again. And carry that through with you throughout the day, through all that you do, from making your meals to eating to working with clients, whether it's admin work or on calls, even when you go out and get a coffee, whatever it is that you're doing, I'm going to ask that you embody it to become it. And now that we feel so good, let's keep the energy and momentum going. So yesterday we invited you to come and join us in Success Principles Society. This is one of the lessons that we teach in it, except we expand on it so much more. And then we can co-work together on creating these self-image scripts. You can use your one-on-one call with me to help you elaborate on this. I'm here to support you for feedback. That's why we have our co-working calls and our mastermind calls. So you can come and share your ideas with people, get support from people, and hold yourself accountable to actually completing the work. And so if you feel like you've got all you need from today, amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to come back tomorrow. Tomorrow we are back with reimagining our dream schedule, because whatever it is in your calendar, you're trading your life for. So I hope it's worth you. And I invite you to stay to learn a little bit more about Success Principles Society right now. So this is an incredible opportunity. This is our brand new Success Principles Society. So some of you are like, I studied Success Principles, but it wasn't called Success Principles Society. That's because we taught the lessons live the very first time. Now I've re-recorded them at my new level of knowledge and awareness. And so we have our original co-working sessions taught in 2022 in there, plus our new recorded lessons for you to study, plus downloadable workbooks. And what's different now is that this is a society that studies the principles of success together. Our 6 core self-mastery lessons, your vision, your goal, your mind, your self-image, your habits, and your wellness. These are the keys to success and self-mastery. And we rinse and repeat, and we do them over and over again because we are constantly evolving. And we always goal, plan, do, review. Because most people set a goal at the beginning of the year, they give 80% will give up by January 17th. And then they stop goal, plan, doing, and reviewing all year long. And then when next December comes, they dive back into setting a new goals, where here we're staying focused, prioritize instead of busy and overwhelmed. We are designing our calendar. We are designing our day. We are designing our life. We are designing our business, and we are designing ourselves. One of our clients, Amanda, who went through the original Success Principles lessons with us, still to this day, in contact with her, says that her favorite thing that she learned was that dream schedule exercise that we're doing tomorrow, that we also expand and teach more on in our Quantum Leap Blueprint, and building the true CEO schedule that you need, that's built around your dream schedule to get you the lifestyle and the impact and the money and the business that you desire. And she said her biggest aha was that she was in charge of her calendar. And I completely understand that. When I first started using this exercise, I was studying at Landmark, and my coach said, why are you always late, Heather? And I was like, I don't know, paradigm, because it was a belief, but I was always late. So I would have to have secondary gain behavior, as we spoke about yesterday, that would have me behave in a certain way that make sure I was always late. And so she said, let me see your calendar. And so I showed it to her. She goes, this is crazy. Where are your breaks? Where do you go to the bathroom? Where do you eat? I said, in my car along the way, I guess I don't have any bathroom breaks. I guess it's partially why I'm always late because I don't even schedule those in. And she goes, but wait, don't you work for yourself? You designed this schedule? And I thought, yes, absolutely. So she gave me the exercise to take a blank piece of paper and redesign my schedule with me in it first. And so this is one of our key exercises, incredible tools that we use to help you take your life back, your time back, create healthy boundaries, have you be your main priority so that you are pouring from a full cup. One of our other key principles that we teach is our Quantum Leap Blueprint in the Own Your Goal lesson that we goal plan, do review, and we do every 90 days so that we're owning each quarter because we know what we're doing right now in this quarter will pick up momentum and create the results in next quarter. So if you want to own Q4, you need to show up in Q3. You want to own 2026, that means you really need to show up now, and because your results and momentum will kick up for next quarter. And we are set up to help you get a win within the first 30 days with that vision and Quantum Leap Blueprint. Because what you're going to do is get really focused and prioritized instead of busy and overwhelmed. So many of us have too many priorities that are not even prioritized. And then we get into freeze mode because we have too much going on and we feel overwhelmed. And so then we don't even take action. Instead, we're going to learn what the quantum leap method is, how to take inspired action, how to take actions that are going to get you the largest result in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort, instead of feeling like you're throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping it sticks. We're going to be so focused and prioritized and also allow for flow and fun. And so there's so much magic that we teach you inside Success Principle Society. Plus, we've got some incredible sign-up bonuses, and they go away today. So, of course, we have a 60-minute kickstart call with me. Everybody gets that. And our bonus, July bonus, can't believe tomorrow's August already. Our July bonus is when you sign up before tomorrow, you're going to get 2 45-minute one-on-one mentorship calls with me. Excuse me. And so I want you to look at this and think, wow, this is an incredible gift from me. It truly, truly is. So that 60-minute kickstart call is a value of $400. The 2 45-minute one-on-one calls with me is a value of $1,200. That's a value of over $1,600 in one-on-one coaching for $337, which is only $113 a month for 3 months. And then you can go on the monthly subscription and you can cancel anytime with a 30-day notice. And so let's take a review of what those lessons are and what it's going to look like to join us inside Success Principle Society. And I would love to welcome you into our community, into our society of conscious high performers and high achievers who are creating life by design instead of default. So we have our 6 core self-mastery lessons: your vision, your goal, your mind, your winning self-image, high performance habits, and your holistic wellness, each with downloadable workbooks and recorded training sessions, access to our VIP community. We have 2 one-hour mastermind calls per month with Q&A, and a monthly co-working session and a monthly strategic co-working session. And these are new. So we just added in the co-working session last month and was doing some market research and talking to people. And what I heard was what you also would love is a strategic co-working session. And so we kick off August with our first one. So we will mastermind August 6th. And then the next week, we're going to do a strategic co-working session. I'm going to give you a task, and then we're all going to work on it together. And then we're going to mastermind. And if you're newer to mastermind, maybe you're wondering, what is a mastermind? And perhaps you've actually been in masterminds before, but they're not necessarily run like a true mastermind. They just call it a mastermind. So often what people think a mastermind is not what it is. And so it's actually when 2 or more people come together a third energy is created. So everybody is going to come and they are going to bring something they need support on. And if you don't know, I will ask the questions to make sure that you do get support. And then everyone, including myself, helps mastermind and share resources to your ask. And then at the end, we have an accountability form. Tracker. And so we track what you commit to. So at the end, we all commit to taking an action, and we put that in our tracker, and we help hold you accountable to completing those actions. And then we actually will have now our new co-working session every month, where we have time to help hold you accountable and hold the space and do it in the right energy, because we always kick off with wins, to help you own it and actually take action in the energy of inspired action. And so this, guys, I've never done this before. This is an incredible opportunity. I'm offering so much here for you at such an incredible price and an incredible value, because I have just heard so many people struggling in silos, and no longer do you have to do it alone. No longer do you have to struggle. Learn the key masteries of success and come and join us inside Success Principle Society. So again, you get to sign up this month, and you're going to get our 2 45-minute one-on-one mentorship calls with me, special value that ends tomorrow. And then we have our 60-minute kickstart call with me, and that's where we'll review your goals, cast your vision, and help you see the full picture of everything we're going to do together. And so all you have to do is jump in and say yes to you. I dare you to bet on you. I want you to imagine it's 90 days from now. What do you want to be different from now? How can life be different? What is that going to look like for you, feel like for you? What do you really, really want? And we know that if we don't change anything, nothing changes. And so I dare you to bet on you, to invest in you, say yes to you, and come and join us inside Success Principle Society, where conscious entrepreneurs just like you are supporting one another, locking arms. And you're going to learn this as a community unlike any other, not just because of who I am and the way I lead, because of the conscious leaders that we attract into this community. And I love them. I love our community. I love all of our current clients, past clients, the returning clients, just the energy, the state of possibility, the impact they leave in this world, their gifts that they're willing to share and get uncomfortable and get outside their comfort zones and sell so they can serve and leave that positive impact. This is a community unlike any other. And I know you're going to love it. So come and join us inside Success Principle Society. I know that you have myself and our community to support you. No more struggling alone in our silos. Instead, we're locking arms, we're owning our vision, and we're owning our energy in that state of possibility. And so I want to thank you guys so very much for joining us here on session 2 to reimagine your personal and your brand image and really begin to embody it, to become it, so that we are no longer our own glass ceiling. And I know you're all coming back tomorrow. I know you're all going to finish this workshop. You're going to do it the way it's meant to be done. You're going to be one of the 20 people in the world that actually create life by design and do what they want. And I know that you're going to have so much fun redesigning your dream schedule and making sure that you're in there first and that you can truly consciously co-create life by design. So we'll see you back tomorrow. And remember, expect magic and miracles, stay happy, healthy, wealthy. And what is the best that can happen? We'll see you soon. Thank you.